रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः. Sundarakand, chapter number 3, the guardian of Lanka. The recitation begins now. Towering aloft on the peak of Suvela, otherwise known as Lamba, that looked as if a huge cloud bank brooded over the isle, Maruti of matchless intelligence gathered into himself the necessary energy and capacity to enter the Rakshasa capital and scour it through. It was night when he was well within its walls. Lovely gardens surrounded it, lovelier yet in their garb of flowers. Well watered and deep wooded, it was lined with noble mansions that presented the appearance of autumnal clouds. The busy hum of the city sounded as a distant roar of muffled waves. A pleasant breeze was ever playing over it from the waters around. Like the Alaka of Kubera, it was vigilantly guarded by well-kept troops. Elephants in rut were chained to lofty porticos of dazzling white. It was as jealously guarded as Bhogavati, the capital of the serpents. Chained lightnings flashed through the tall turreted buildings, for they were lost in the regions of bright gold. Soft and pleasant gales refreshed the people in it at all hours of the day and night. One would not be guilty if he mistook it for Amaravati of Indra. Battlements of solid gold enclosed it. The tiny bells of silver and gold that covered the flags and the banners tinkled sweet music to the ear. Maruti passed his eye in wonder unspeakable over these on his way to the golden fortress walls. And his joy and surprise was no whit less when he gazed from afar upon doors of gold, gem-encrusted platforms, floors adorned with curious mosaics of precious stones, crystals, and pearls, lordly elephants in rut fashioned of pure molten gold, skyscrapers of flashing silver with steps of gold and soft crystal dust, lofty halls with their roofs lost in dim darkness and religious gloom. The pheasant, the heron, the peacock, the swan, and other rare birds blending their notes sweetly with the sound of gay music and ladies' ornaments. And last but not the least, the strange delusion that came over one that the city was about to wing its way into the blue vaults of heaven. Hanuman let his eye rest on that capital of the Rakshasas for a while, and could not keep himself from exclaiming, "Wonderful indeed! It is utterly impossible for any foe even to raise his eyes to this Lanka, and these Rakshasa troops of Ravana that guard it day and night, armed to the teeth, well, they are something to reckon with. None of my mates have even heard of this. I may, however, make an exception of Angada, Mainda, Dvivida, Kumuda, Sushena. But only Sugriva, Kushaparva, Ketumala, and myself can ever hope to even get past these walls." The thought clouded his heart for a pace, but he recalled to himself the valor of Rama and the prowess of Lakshmana, and grew as elated as he was despondent. The noble Dame Lanka was gorgeously attired in her rich robes of gemmed fortress walls. The spacious stalls for elephant, horse, and cattle were the ornaments that graced her shell-like ears. The armors that dotted the ramparts were her firm breasts, and the brilliant gems that did duty for lights and lamps in the houses and out of them made darkness and dusk a thing unknown to the people therein. And as Anjaneya passed along, feasting his eye on many a sight, rare and lovely, the mighty elemental that jealously guarded the city noted that he was trying to get within its walls, and stood before him in the guise of a hideous woman, and roared at him in a tone of thunder. "Who are you? What have you to do here, a ranger of the woods? Speak straight, ere I send you to the mansions of the dead. Fierce Rakshasas guard this day and night. His Majesty Ravana cherishes it as he would his very own life. And here am I, as you see, the power that watches over its safety. Fool, and you hope to get an easy access to it. Maruti heard her all out calm and serene and rendered grave reply and gentle. Woman, it gives me real pleasure to speak to you straight and true. But excuse me, may I know something about my questioner who bars my path with his frightful mien and haughty speech? Naturally enough, the guardian of the island fortress was roused to wrath at the temerity of the creature who would not answer her legitimate questions, but would even venture to make her give an account of herself. Thou wretch of a monkey, pay heed unto me, for I will even reply to you ere I make short work of you. I am here at the command of my master, King Ravana, to watch over the city in sleepless vigilance. No one ever thinks of standing up to me, and you, poor mite, think seriously of putting a slight upon me and surviving it. Lo, I draw the life breaths out of your poor body, for I am Lanka. I guard it above, below, and all around. Ha 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 ha. Maruti called up only as much energy as was enough to overcome the elemental. He stood before her calm and unruffled as a lofty mountain and spoke back to the terrible shape that threatened his life and the success of his mission. The desire is strong upon me to behold at closer view this Lanka, its houses, its palaces, fortresses, woods, gardens, and groves. I am here to please myself with the sight of all these wonders. The city guardian was all the more enraged at this cool and clever reply. Miserable fool of a monkey, all in good time, and that is when you have worsted me in fair fight. You set no foot in here ere you have achieved this impossible feat, and then the Lord Ravana will take care of you. She smote him hard with cruel words and fears, but Maruti answered her all gently. Well, well, I know nothing of it. Let it be. I do feel as if I were inclined to take my own time to see the sights of this wonderful island city of yours and go back when I have enough of it. The words were hardly out of his mouth when the demon watcher rushed upon him with a hideous roar and hit him hard. Hanuman was at last roused to anger, yet he would not hit a woman with his right hand, though it was in self-defense. He shot out with his left, and to speak a truth, there was not much of wrathful feeling behind the blow for the very same reason. But it was all too much for the she-devil, as she measured her length on the ground with her frightful bulk and baleful eyes. Maruti then bethought himself that his enemy was a woman, and his heart was touched with pity. But her conceit had clean gone out of her, the poor demoness. Her limbs shook with mortal terror, and she was scarce able to speak what she would, even to beg for her own life. O Lord of monkeys, have mercy on me, noblest of mortals, grant me my life. Mighty heroes, strong in their strength and bravery, do not slay poor women. I am no other than the city Lanka. I confess that you have overcome me out of your matchless might, and allow me to acquaint you with another fact. It is true, every bit of it. In the far past, the Lord Brahma granted me this strange boon. Some day in the distant future, a monkey hero will worst you in fair fight, and that day will ring the death knell of fair Lanka and its Rakshasa brood. I look at you and make a fair guess that the eventful day has come. For the word of the Ancient of Days ever comes true. The black-hearted Ravana and his Rakshasa hordes are even now drawing their last breaths, all on the account of that Lady Sita. Best and bravest of the monkey world, this broad city is thine to work your will upon it. Enter thou this fated capital, already consumed to ashes by the blazing curses of the tortured souls, and search for Sita at your own sweet will and pleasure. मंगलम कौशलेंद्राय महनीय गुणाब्दे चक्रवर्ती धनुर्जाय सर्वभौमाय मंगलम।